Hi, I'm Boy, the GM of Vancouver Titans, and now I'm looking at the last map against the New York Excelsior in the Summer Showdown qualifiers. It was a 3-0 for us, and we played Gibraltar.
Beauty. Okay, one more to go.
Nice. So, New York Excelsior, just to give a little preview, we are 1-1 in the Summer Showdown right now. We won against Paris last week. New York is in a really weird to evaluate situation because this meta seems to be better for them, just like for us. Let us see how it turns out in the end. We start attacking on Gibraltar, and it's pretty standard. Both teams are playing Jodes. Something that is not standard is that New York is playing Ho-1 and they play Zenyatta instead of the Lucio. For this map, it is something that you can do. As you can see here, they were falling back pretty fast, and now it's just about pushing the car for us a little bit. But to talk about the Zenyatta, well, the teams are not doing anything. It's just something that you can do on Gibraltar because there's not much brawling happening early on, and Zenyatta can get a nice pick and win a fight out wide, which makes it pretty a good pick, at least at the start of Gibraltar, maybe on second point too. But yeah, you can see it's all about pushing payload. We are almost a minute in, not anyone died here. Yeah, like 1 minute now, no one died. It's just about pushing payload. They were just holding top because they had Zenyatta. Now we tried to actually take that space and we are horrible at it. We were really separated. The team was like all over the place, like someone was bottom, and we were literally in 5 different positions. Tried to take point again. This time we take it with the whole team. We were able to actually go in there before they get any ultimates, and it's so crucial that we made that like in time. If we were 10 seconds later on that, or if we were separated again and didn't take it well, this A point might have been a full hold. It was literally a 10-second thing. It's so close, where they were so close to ultimates but not quite there. Now we are in a really good position. New York can't really retake. If they had tried to retake here, it would have been really good for us because they would have lost a bunch of ults and we would have still won the fight. They are not doing that. They're staying on point B, trying to hold choke. They're very far apart from each other, which on the start of point B is actually hard to deal with for us, because taking space out of a choke is crazy hard. But as you can see here, King almost looked like he overextended, but he actually baited Yaki into having a bad Genji ult, and now we were able to commit on it. The way that Genji works in this meta is often that you're kind of the second tank and bait a little bit. King unfortunately uses his ult at the very end of the fight. Not good. He actually ends up dying for nothing. He didn't have to use that ult in the first place. But what I wanted to say is that the reason why we won, or kind of won, that fight and got into the B point space is because Genji was baiting and somewhat the second tank. Eyes were on him and we were able to go in with the rest of the team. Mirror gets booped down though, so maybe not the position to start at that we wanted to. But again, they can't really walk into us because they don't really have the Lucio. They can try to like peek with the Zenyatta, but it's not ideal. Even though Ho-1 Poli gets a lot of damage, he doesn't necessarily get a lot of value. Mirror had like a really good ultimate again. He was probably the best player this match. So we're actually kind of snowballing right now. We have like 2 ults somewhat coming up, but our snowball somewhat ends here. It depends actually if New York is doing something fast, then we're probably not in a great position. But they also only have the nano, which isn't again great for them because they can't really go in much with this nano, so they end up just staying and poking, and we just end up staying and poking and honestly just farming ultimates. I said they can't do much, they have to stay and poke. Zenyatta is somewhat useless, he gets just killed there by King. King has another ultimate that is not necessarily the greatest, but does his job by just zoning people separating the team, and I think we are able to literally cap here, which, yeah, if they swapped the Zenyatta Ana after the first point, I think it would have been harder for us. But yeah, if they swapped the Zenyatta Ana after first point, maybe it would have been harder for us. But they stayed on it the whole time, and it ended up not turning out well for them. That being said, like, it was literally a 10-second thing on first point between us capturing the point and being close to being full health. So even though it turned out to be quite a roll, like a snowball for the rest of the map, that first point was a lot closer than it seemed like. Had they been able to stay alive for a while longer, and had we done a small little mistake at that point, it would have been really hard for us. But what we do on our side is that we just hold spawn, and it makes it really hard for them to go outside, because again, they don't have Lucio, they don't have Brick, they can't commit to the ball. So how are they gonna deal with that? We are literally staying in front of them, and it's just a big fiesta right now. I remember the players were really happy in comms. I mean, obviously everyone's like, wow, we're like holding spawn, it's already a minute in, they didn't push the cart a single centimeter yet. So what are they gonna do? I think what ends up happening is that, you know, they do get a kill, and then we have to back off later on. But for now, we're still close. They can't really push out. The comp is horrible for them right now. Strategically, we're in a way better spot. And yeah, we're just honestly farming ultimates. Even if we lose the fight, it's okay for us. Mirror here, huge again, can do what he wants and gets another kill. We end up winning a second fight too, and something that is also part of this comp problem for New York is that it's only been 2 fights. It's been 1 minute 40 already that they spent on 2 fights. It's because they can't really commit to anything. And now we have Bob, and it makes it even harder. They don't have anything to contest us there. Master gets naded and almost dies, but with us having Bob, it becomes just so much harder to push out. Aspire is just in the back, free shooting. There comes Bob. They push out a little bit, so we waited for that to Bob. They did a good job in not really committing too much though, which is probably just something they have to do because of the comp, but that's why Bob didn't end up doing much. But we ended up finding Callan out of position. Another kill, 2.5 minutes in, not a single meter pushed. It's fucking crazy. We have another 2 ultimates coming up. They have Zen ult now, so they should be able to finally push out. But just think about the mental state of the players. You're 2-0 down, of New York side, you're 2-0 down and you're being spawn camped, you don't do anything. Yeah, there's like no hope in your mind that you can win this match, right? So you probably are giving up. So it's pretty hard for them, and for us on the other side, it's the opposite. But yeah, like I said, they had Zen ult, so they used it there. They were able to push out a little bit. We let them come out a little bit, and then they actually started to trade. So even if it looks like we got some nice kills here and we win the fight, actually we shouldn't have used the Genji ult there. We shouldn't have tried to get more kills, because we'll have to back up anyway, and they'll be able to take the space anyway. So yeah, you can see it here. Aspire now going back. They have the space, and that's what they wanted. So us committing their own ultimates was not a smart decision, and it leads to them having actually quite a bit of resources going into the rest of first point. Something going into the last fight on first point here is that to consider is that, again, they have Zenyatta, so they can't really fight on point that much, which is a problem if you're in this overtime situation, because now the attack side again is forced to be on card. You can't decide anymore. You're forced to be on card. Like I said earlier, it's a problem that defense usually has. But here they at least have the Nano Blade, and they can do a little bit with it, so it's not too bad. We're kind of held in choke, which is difficult for us to get out of, and we don't have anything to contest with. So they're able to at least cap that point. New York uses Junker Queen ult at the very end, which is just a big waste, and obviously good for us. But yeah, again, not very like from New York's point of view, not very happy with what they're doing. I think we play this really well, where we just take the ball over and over. You can see it here. There's a Junker Queen at the door. We just walk out. It doesn't matter. Like, we just go in because they can't do much. They have Zen ult, but sure, like it doesn't matter. We can separate them as much as we want. You can see Murr, he's going in like all the way, and it ends up costing him a little bit. But overall, it's good for the team because like they get, like, New York gets completely separated, and we have, like, Aspire has so much space, he can do whatever he wants with. And we end up being able to push them back. New York gets into last fight territory. They have 2 ultimates coming up. We have 2 ultimates coming up, but we have the Brick ult. And if we act fast here, we're going to be in a good position. Unfortunately, Flora gets a right click onto Aspire, which means it is a 4v5 situation for us, and it's probably unwinnable. They use the Genji ult first too, or fast as well. So we were just not quick enough there on the trigger, in my opinion. If we had done stuff faster, gun in with Rally, Blade first, then we should have been able to do something. Now New York is in a bad situation because right now the card is on the corner and they can't really commit, and we are not gonna commit if we don't have to. We actually end up going in a little bit to bait out the Zen ult, where we are actually able to get a kill on Yaki very early on, and it is such a difficult situation for New York, and it is very good the way that we played it. Then after that we fall back. We still have Aspire on the Widow to take the long range fight, and they're not going to be able to contest us much in terms of small close-up brawls. It's the last fight though, so they have to do whatever they can. They run in on us. They're obviously not good at running in on us, even though they swapped to the Lucio Brick last second there. It's still a really bad situation, and we end up winning that whole map.